podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Welcome back to Tuned Into Tennis. I'm Myles David, and we are back. Today is Monday, August 24th, right off the heels of a very, very entertaining weekend in Cincinnati, which is completely 180 of how I've actually drawn up Mason, Ohio / Cincinnati, Ohio in the past couple of days on my socials, but that's neither here nor there. We are not necessarily easing into the shade and the fun of a regular Tuned Into Tennis episode. This past weekend in Cincinnati was blackety black, okay? Mm-hmm. We watched two unequivocally, unambiguously black men play for a Masters 1000 title, the biggest stage those two black men have ever shared on the ATP Tour, or the biggest stage two black men have ever shared on the ATP Tour. And on the other side of that coin, we saw Coco Gauff out here serving like prime Venus Williams. I almost literally called her Venus when I was doing the runner show for this. So we got a lot to get into today on Tuned Into Tennis, and joining me for the first time is Mr. Jalen Jackson. Look at me. Mr. Jalen Jackson, a.k.a. Jalen with an H on Instagram and TikTok. This has been a minute in the making, but I'm glad we're here, brother. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Myles, and thank you to his crowd out there. I'm very happy to be on here today because it's long overdue, like you said. So I'm really excited to, get in here and talk tennis, especially after our melanated weekend we just had. So, yeah.
Melanated and full of fun. So we're gonna sit back, relax, and pop some shit for a little bit. So with this being your first appearance on the show, my listeners who may not be familiar with your brand, your tone of voice, and your content on socials, give us an elevator pitch, if you will, of what is Jalen with an H on TikTok and Instagram. Tell us more about the acronyms that you have in your Instagram bio, because it says you RSPA and GPTCA certified tennis coach. So give us a rundown of like how Jalen Jackson found our way to our tennis hearts.
Yeah. So, I'll give you the who, what, and why for sure. My name is Jalen Jackson. I like talking tennis on the internet. I started playing tennis when I was like 7 or 8 years old because of my great grandmother. She, just used to watch it on TV. She signed me up for my first like tennis camp, and made me fall in love with Roger Federer. So then from there, I think I just took it too far and ended up playing in middle school, high school, spending a bunch of money on it, and then don't have all of it. So, I was like, how can I make money from doing this? I can string. Okay, well, that don't make as much. Let me learn how to coach. I got to get at least decent enough to learn how to coach. So, from there, I started coaching when I was like 16, to help out like with my high school coach. He helped me out a ton. So I would, just help teach his lessons. And then from there, it's crazy at my, like, I'm 28 for reference. So to say like I've done something for 10 years now is like, whoa, it's like big milestone. But I've been coaching for about 10 years. All the letters and certifications were what I went to school for pretty much. I didn't go the whole time. I didn't go get my bachelor's and master's and all that. I went and got my professional tennis management degree, which got me my nice piece of paper. It used to be the USPTA. Now it's the RSPA certification. And then
what does that stand for?
Racket Sports Professional Association.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And the GPTCA is like the Greater Professional Tennis, whatever. I don't even remember. But it's like an ATP. The cool part about it is like a ATP certification. So it's like I'm a certified ATP coach. It was through a coaching job that I had. If you work at a reputable place, I'll just go ahead and give this to you now. Like, they're going to want you to get certified in different aspects of the game, everything that you can. So luckily this one was one where they got this coach of tennis coaches to come out, make sure I knew what I was talking about. And then they gave me this piece of paper that had the ATP logo on it. So I was like,
and you can smile and take the picture.
Smile and take the picture. I love smiling and taking pictures. And then content started out of just a love for the sport. I'd been watching for a long time. And then the Sinkeraz final happened. Roland Garros, and my brother was like, I was like talking about it like for like a week, like, oh, they're going to play each other first time, da 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 da. And he was like, you should just record your thoughts on it and put it on the internet. And that is probably top 3 best advice I've ever gotten. So here we are.
Listen, a lot of our favorite actors, celebrities, just influential people in the last 20 years have kind of just turned on their devices and started popping this shit, which is essentially what I'm doing right now.
No, yeah.
So I'm happy that you have the certified section of it and I have the talking shit section of it just covered. So we can put that together and come up with some really good tennis thoughts. Before we get into the tennis thoughts and what all transpired in Cincinnati, and we look forward to what may happen at the U.S. Open, because as we record this, the U.S. Open starts this Sunday. This is August 24th. It starts on Sunday. I don't know how we got here, but you also have a clothing brand called Day Trip Collective.
Yeah.
Day Trip Collective. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so to keep it brief, it's about how you use your 24 hours in the day. It's a passion project. Me and my closest friends, my brother I was just telling you about, and my business partner, and then some of my friends that are, I consider really good creatives. We all run events. We hang out and we go to your event. And at the core of it all, we make clothes. It's just, one of those things it was adjacent to tennis. I feel like tennis and fashion kind of go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
I don't make athletic wear. I will say it's more like streetwear, more, true to, it's like, I feel like we put the artwork out first more so than we put out like the athletic side of it.
Like
you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's where you won't see like, oh yeah, he's a tennis coach. Oh, he's this. He likes other things too. He has other hobbies. Yeah. So
So can you play in Day Trip? Like you can train in it, but maybe not go play a match for it doesn't 100%. It doesn't have like an underarm moisture whipping technology.
No dry fit, no
okay.
no.
But you're gonna look cool. You're gonna look cool.
Yeah, for sure. You'll be set for your celebrations after you win. I'll put it that way.
We like that. As soon as you get that W, you can put on some Day Trip Collective. So
exactly. No, I appreciate you asking. Thank you very much.
For sure. Yeah. We were just talking for a minute before we press record, and this is our chance to extend it and put it on wax, like they say. So I don't mind. All right. So let's keep the blackety black, like I said at the top of the show, going, because we had a historic men's final in Cincinnati where Arthur Fils defeated Francis Tiafoe 6-3, 1-6, 6-love in just about over an hour and a half, maybe, give or take, to win the 2026 Cincinnati Open. That was Arthur Fils' first career Masters 1000 title. It was also the first time 2 black men played an ATP Masters 1000 final, and Fils becomes only the 3rd black man to win a Masters title, joining Ben Shelton and everybody's fave, Joe Wilfried Tsonga, from a couple generations ago. Not too far away, but a generation removed.
For sure.
Fils is also the first Frenchman to win a Masters 1000 in 12 years since Tsonga did it in 2014. And at 22 years old, he's the youngest French Masters 1000 champ ever. So a lot of big stats there for our guy, Arthur Fils, who, I don't know about you, but this whole moment of him being a Masters 1000 champ, it's not quite a long time coming, but it's somewhere in the middle. Like, we've been wanting to see this since, I've been wanting to see him win big since I first laid eyes on him back in 2024. So here we are, middle of 2026, a little bit past middle of 2026, and he's holding the biggest trophy of his career.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Congratulations to Arthur Fils and Francis Tiafoe for just getting to that point. They both had excellent tournaments in the lead up. I was really, I feel like we'll talk plenty about Fils. I want to give some props to my boy Tiafoe because the win against Musetti was like, oh, okay, in my opinion, that's where it got real for me.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, that's how we're moving now. All right, cool. I'm good with that. So, congratulations to Francis Tiafoe for making it there in the first place. I know he had done a lot of work from, my behind the scenes, all of it, knowing about that, but he, changed his team up a bit. And I know he was really just trying to find the results that he knew he could get. So congratulations to him for that. But yeah, as far as Arthur Fils, man, what more can you say? I mean, the He's first since Joe Willie Songa. Were they there for that? You know what I mean?
Who,
Like,
like our listeners or
yeah,
Arthur
were
Feast
they there for
himself?
that? Were they there for Joe Willie Songa?
I feel like the listeners that I have in my head, I don't know if I have the data and numbers to back this
Yeah,
up, but they remember Joe Wilfried Tsonga's explosion and how he got to the 2008 Australian Open final, and that kind
yeah,
of launched the rest of his career, and how he hung tough with Roger Federer and Nadal and Djokovic, and
yeah,
gave them all really good run for their money, and beat them all. I think he's beaten all the
yeah.
big three. So yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean,
legit.
and an underrated style go too.
Yeah,
Also
super
had his own
smooth.
swag, like for
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, when it comes to being in the same breath with Joe Wilfried Tsonga, I mean, that's good high places you're putting yourself in. Arthur Feast did an excellent job, like just bashing through everybody. It looks like somebody said, I was doing a live and somebody said Arthur Feast hits the ball like it owes him money or something like that. Like he looks like just going crazy on it. I saw some stats also that he's hitting the ball on average faster than Yannick Sinner, has throughout the year. Shout out to Tennis Insights. This is a good page if you don't follow them. But yeah, Arthur Feast with this win it was not the quality of tennis and quality of match that I was like, I guess, hoping for in my
In the
black ass
final.
mind. You know what I mean? In the final, it wasn't like the highest quality of tennis, but I did enjoy certain moments where they did hit the flow at the same time. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Especially on the backhand exchanges, they were like lightning and thunder back and forth at times, and that's what I like. That's what I signed up to see. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It
So
wasn't. If I'm being honest, the final was kind of a flop as far as how much it
yeah,
meant, as far as how much it meant to me, and just how much we know Arthur Feast and Francis Tiafoe can put on a good show.
yeah,
They didn't really do that at the same time, and I think
no,
there were a bunch of reasons for it. And they might not admit this now in their careers, but I think after some time, maybe it's after they both put the rackets up professionally for good, they're going to look back and be like, that was a very defining moment in my career. And
correct, yeah,
sometimes when you play a match like that, it doesn't get the absolute best out of you. You can kind of, I
uh,
don't think either of them froze. There were some extenuating circumstances, like Francis Tiafoe came into that final playing a lot of matches, literally just had a cyst removed in his wrist, and he had to take a medical timeout for like some hip
yeah,
massage to loosen up. So he was admittedly very stiff in the
mhm,
final. And then Arthur Feast, as big and as explosive and as heavy as his game is, he's still only 22, I think.
yeah,
And sometimes he can grapple with the focus in the moment and staying in such a hot zone, which explains how he lost that second set in like less than a couple of minutes after
yeah. The
having
level
so much.
dropped off
It, it
off a
just
cliff.
it just went away. But at the same time, tennis is like that. You have to
It
close out.
is,
You have to
yeah,
close out your opponent and keep your momentum going, or else you run away with it, like Feast ultimately did because he got his level back up together. So
yeah,
um, you mentioned he hits. You said somebody in the live like said he hits the ball like it owes him something or like it owes him money or something.
yeah,
The takeaway I got from this weekend watching so much Arthur Feast in his matches was actually how controlled he put it together. Because I do have a vision of Arthur Feast blasting away, and he can do that. But this week, it looked like it was bottled up in a sufficient, repeatable kind of way, which is what I've always wanted to see. In
mhm,
addition, him being able to finish out matches on his own 2 feet and healthy, like all of those things combined, is what we got. And that's a hell of an athlete and a hell of a package to contend with.
No, for sure. I mean, the poise that kind of comes along with the way that he's hitting the ball that hard is impressive, and I think like that's one of those things that, as you can hear, like snuck up on me because if you think about it, the extended rallies that he does get into, there's so much margin for error on all of these points. I love the way that like, especially the way he technically hits his backhand. Just looking at it, it would be like a slow motion backhand you'd want to see over and over again. I'm really that's gonna end up taking him even higher than Masters 1000 titles. One day he's gonna, it made me believe. Okay, no, you've arrived. Like, okay, I see you. You know what I mean? I see you. I think we can take this show a little bit further Masters 1000, and I tend to get ahead of myself on
We
things
can do
like
that
that.
today. We can do that
Yeah,
today.
but
Yeah.
I'd like to get ahead of myself on Arthur Feast. Like, like I said, the Where's the Final wasn't the highest, like most like you said, it didn't live up to
It
what we
wasn't as
thought maybe.
swaggy as Brett Haber wanted it.
Exactly. Exactly. No, exactly. No, exactly. Yeah, it wasn't. But at the same time, I feel like 22 years old, you're playing like that. You can build on that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah.
As long as his back isn't taped up and he isn't, wincing in pain, which does hurt me as if like he's my brother when I see it happening, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
You talked about like the backhand stuff, and I'm grateful that you have that perspective on the technicalities and the tactical part of the game. But zooming out from just what it means perspective, how did knowing that there was going to be a black man holding such a big title in tennis make you feel? Because I know for me, I said this on social media, like when I first developed a relationship with watching tennis, it was my dream to kind of see the equivalent of what I was seeing routinely in Venus and Serena on the men's side. And history will show that there haven't been that many black men at the very elite top of men's tennis. And this here feels like a very historic marker in where this can go. So I'm wondering how you felt about, the moment of all of that.
I really hope there was a kid out there, young like me at a time when I was learning about Fed. I really hope there was a kid out there that saw that took note of that. You know what I mean? And in 10, 15 years, they're in front of a microphone and they get to say, oh, yeah, like I watched Arthur Feast win the Cincinnati Open that year. Like it's one of those moments. For me, putting myself seeing people that look like you in the moment really helps you just jump into that skin and just really like get behind them and root for them. Because I was
Mhm.
going for Tiafoe full stop. I mean, like I've been a big fan of that man for a long time, and it's just because like he had the story of like, okay, he grinded out the junior scene, and then
Mhm.
I heard about him. Like I make this joke in some of my videos about how I wanted to be the first one to sign to Rock Nation when I heard Jay-Z had a like sports agency, and Tiafoe literally did that. Like
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's why I wanted to start with the congratulations to him because, I mean, me and him, I want to say he's maybe like 6 months older than me or a year older than me. So when I heard about him, I've been a fan since then. So that's why it was so hard to watch him like struggle and like, go through the coaching change of the team he's had the whole time. That's like, I don't watch a ton of anime, but that's like anime like story arc right there. And it's crazy to see like my man Tiafo in the final of a Masters 1000. You know what I mean? It really was like I can put myself in his shoes right there and
Mhm.
live that moment like with him. That's awesome. That's what we. I mean, I feel like that's what we end up talking about this for in the first place.
Mhm.
Like when you really boil it down. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it was
sports is
huge.
nice. Like the back and forth, the tactics and all that stuff is wonderful. You can get lost in the weeds of it, but people come back to sports moments for how it made them feel. What you
Yeah,
remember, like what else it brought up in you. And I'm going to remember this moment in Cincinnati, regardless of if that final was a dud or not.
exactly.
I'm going to remember Arthur Feast and Francis Tiafoe standing there with the champions runners-up trophy for sure.
Yeah, because
Definitely,
yeah,
definitely memorable.
I mean, I'm looking at one dude with the same, like, we're like the similar skin color, and then the other dude
Mhm.
got my hair texture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, that's crazy. I was like,
we
wow.
all got
Like,
we all got black daddies. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, we made it through. I was like, we really shining out here. That was really cool, and I hope they can, I hope one of them anyway, or hopefully both of them someday can get that to a grand slam. That's the goal. Oh, maybe not. Oh.
I feel like my guy Arthur Feast has much more runway in that field.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm,
yeah, no doubt.
I'm not saying that Francis can't get it done. I just think a lot more has to go right for Francis to get it done. However, and stick with us in the show, there are some things that are trending in both of their direction as far as who's playing and who's not playing at
Correct. Oh, foreshadowing.
this very US Open. So these names, Tiafoe and Fees, might be coming up again in the next week or two when we go deeper at the U.S. Open, which I'd love to see. I just feel like if you're asking me, in stock terms, which I'm not great at, who I'm buying at the moment is going to be Arthur Fees based on what I saw, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah, he's 22. I mean, he's got, I remember I'll put it this way. I remember when Francis was 22. Yeah.
Good times. When he was doing the, my arm looks pretty strong. What do you mean?
Okay. Yeah, you got your 20 in today. Got your 20 push-ups in today. I like it.
We'll take a cardio walk later. We're just getting big. We're just getting big. No, which Francis has too. I saw some pictures and I was like, damn, he really had that hard 75 really did do him some justice. You don't really, because I watch so much tennis, you don't immediately be like, oh yeah, there's a physicality change. But when I zoomed out and I think I saw a picture from him from 2024, I was like, oh, my guy really, he's with the shits. Do we have any other thoughts on that, on those two before we segue into the Black Girl Magic, as we were talking about Black Boy Joy?
No. Genuinely, just congratulations to both of them for making it to that and making it to the final, and congratulations on both their tournament. But yeah, outside of that, congratulations to Arthur Feast, man. Yeah, Masters 1000 champion.
Masters 1000 champ. There's not a long list of men that can say that, and he's in that list. And I am sincerely wishing both of them health. Francis with his, recovery from the cyst removal, which seemed, it seemed like it was fairly routine surgery, but he also kind of alluded post-match that he's been dealing with some other stuff too, which, to be honest, like, tennis is so physical. You're rarely going to come across an athlete playing on the ATP or WTA tour that's 100% fresh. And if they are, it's because they came back from a lengthy issue in the first place.
Yeah. So, you get your life, you get your shelf life, and that's it.
You get shelf life. And then Arthur Feast has been documented that he had to take most of last year off with a stress fracture in his back, and even a significant little stretch of this year, he had a hip issue that wasn't related, but still wishing both of them health, and the sky's the limit for both of them, because we see how active social media and the internet got behind the Masters 1000 final. So imagine if
that's awesome.
Yeah, imagine if they're playing for an even bigger trophy, and there's only one more rung on the ladder. So Congrats to our guys. Okay, more congratulations to be passed out. And like I said, we got some Black Girl Magic to spin around, because Coco Gauff got her second Cincinnati title. She defeated Jessica Pegula 6-2, 6-4 to win her second Cincinnati title, which she did back in 2023. And it was the first All-American Cincinnati women's final, I believe, in a bunch of years. And like I said at the very top, I try not to overhype anybody, but I'll be damned if I didn't feel something stirring up in me when I saw Coco Gauff snapping down some 124 mile per hour serves. I said, now who the hell, I knew it was there, but you've seen the last couple of years, the ebbs and flows of it all.
6 months ago. I mean, 6 months ago, how many of those do you think?
I know, not to be too on the nose, but I thought I was watching Prime Venus.
It looked like it.
The ability to have such dominance from the very first point on that first serve when she gets it in, like Coco has now, and the ability when the point starts to be like, there's not a single part of this court that you can put the ball in that I can't reach. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get my racket on it, and if it gets past me, I'm going to give you a little clap because you did that.
Yeah.
That's literally what she was doing throughout the whole match. And
you earned it. Yeah.
A 6-2, 6-4 win over Pegula, which honestly, by the scoreline, it could have been even dustier than that. Like, she could have.
Yeah, there were some break points left on the table. I mean, yeah.
Pegula said it. So, I mean, what were your thoughts? What are your reaction to Coco Gauff getting her first title of the season too? Because she's been in some finals, Rome final, Miami final, and now she's the big dog with the big trophy.
Well, I mean, talk about peaking at the right time, right? Like, Coco is notorious for not getting tired. That's the one thing I want to highlight here. So, I'm gonna knock on wood. I feel like my side is definitely gonna be like, don't jinx Coco. But this is just it's hard to not be excited about what you're seeing from her right now. Like, to add on top of her scrambling all over the place, all across the court, like you said, there's not a place you can put the ball. She's figured out okay, get this first serve in, and not only that, make it 124 miles per hour. Not only that, spot it extremely well and spot it uniquely for your opponent as well. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's a really good look, especially against the Jessica Pegula, who I would say is trending upwards, finding her best form that I've seen in a while.
I want to give a slight pushback on that, but I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
still keep hyping up Coco Golf in this moment. Not
No,
that I
that's true.
not that I'm anti Pagula at all. I just don't know if Pagula is the person I want to say is like trending up, but not down, but not necessarily up.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah, finding a plateau, finding a healthy place to sit. I got you.
healthy medium, which is basically her career since we've like known her. But on top of Coco, it stuck out to me just how good the serving was, is because Pagula's a damn good returner. And if you are handcuffing Pagula with straight shots down the middle into the body, you're doing something right. And
Hmm.
we have not seen that kind of point construction and confidence at the service line from Coco in quite a while. And yet and still, Mama got 2 Grand Slam titles. So
That's amazing. Only getting
if
better.
yeah, if we combine and stuff, and I know tennis is so much about mental fortitude, confidence, and all of those things across the spectrum, right? It's more than just being able to snap your wrist at the right time. You got to like it's all intertwined, which makes the sports fascinating. But if she is doing that, if you didn't get to watch that final live, which I did, go back and watch the 15-minute highlights that Tennis Channel provides or whatever. I'd be shocked if people didn't walk away like, oh, I see you. Like, because if you look at the finals that she played in Miami and Rome, that game wasn't there. So
Yeah.
if she packages up what she put together in the tournament in Cincinnati, going forward, US Open and beyond, if she rotates around that level, the girl should be scared.
Yes, very. They should be very scared. They should. She yeah, I mean, to me, and again, like I don't want to jinx nothing. I'm trying to keep it tame here. It does look like complete package is starting to be delivered. And 23 is Coco 23.
She's not 23 yet. She's only 22, I believe.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Still wants it and the desire is there, which it seems like that's not really something she struggles on.
Uh,
I'm scared for the other women on the tour.
yeah. I mean, she's locked in. There's no jokes. There's no games. There's no can she do it? She's already
Hmm.
got two of them.
Yeah.
You know, she's already got two of them.
And that wasn't playing full package. That was scrambling, asking to get an extra ball in the court. Can you hang with it kind of tennis, which works clearly.
Mhm.
But if she adds some extra security in spots of her game that have been areas for improvement, you're looking at somebody that's not just a core four player like they describe with her, Sabalenka, Iga, and Rybakina. We're looking at her being at the top of that list instead of somewhere in the middle or at the bottom.
Yeah.
So that's super exciting. I think the WTA couldn't ask for more as from one of their like star athletes, and
Mhm.
yeah, she's back in the trophy title winning race and the race to the WTA finals. Not that I don't think she was ever in like danger of not qualifying, but she for sure is probably going to be a top 5 seed in the WTA finals when they get to Indian Wells at the end of the season. So
Yeah, and I mean, not to jump too far ahead or anything like that, but
we can
you're
do
looking
that.
at yeah, I was gonna say like you look at a field where Sabalenka doesn't look like 2021. It's not 2021 no more, and then you got Rybakina. Like Achilles issues are really tough. You know what I mean
We know with
to
Holger Rune
navigate.
and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly, they're very difficult to manage on the timeline. I mean, after those two, like who else do you put in front of Coco? Like nobody, in my opinion, anyway.
You don't put this person in front of her, I don't think. But I said we would talk about Pagula. Pagula is perpetually somebody that's in the mix. And I do feel like she deserves credit because obviously she got to the final this week and she beat Swiatek again to get to the final. She beat her in the semi. And I guess we'll spend a little on Iga Swiatek. Sorry.
LOL, that's funny. No, I'm in the Ega hive. I like Ega, but yeah,
Oh,
I
you're
get
in
you.
the Iga Hive?
Yeah, like as much as one can be. No, I
Oh, they
mean
can be deep.
they can be deep. Now, not the deepest of all time or anything, but definitely, yeah. No, I like Eagles game. Again, there's players I like just like personality and like da 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 da
Yeah.
da. There's players I like their game, the way that they beat people.
Mhm.
Iga, I was watching her just like make people run full size track meets for
Yeah.
like two and
He's
a
good.
half years.
He's good
That
at
was
that.
really cool. As like a tennis coach,
2022.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, 2022, 2023, dominating, literally handing out. That's where we got the phrase "Iga's Bakery" from, like, because she was not letting go of too many games. But
Yeah.
I do feel like Pagula is not necessarily doing anything that is raising her level to a point where I'm like, oh yeah, she is going to win the U.S. Open. Because I've been burned at some slams considering Pagula as like, oh, this is a game I need to pay more attention to outside of just like the whole steady Eddie thing. Because she
Hmm.
really does have a game that can hang. It's just that, unfortunately, the kind of Pagula that I see get to the finals of Cincinnati or any other lead up tournament, I have seen get to the semis, quarters, and one time in a final. Those Pagulas are not the same. I'm not quite
Correct.
sure what happens. If she was able, and it's the same format too, it's still best of three, but I think the moment, whether she says this out loud, like I think the moment kind of plays a part because there have been some moments in quarterfinals that she on paper should have won, but did not. And I think if you played those in a WTA 1000 or WTA 500, she probably does. So that's why I'm tepid on like talking about Pagula as like, yeah, she's in the mix for the U.S. Open because she is,
Hmm.
but she isn't at the same time.
Correct.
It's kind of
Yeah.
fascinating, you know?
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, when it comes to Pagula, we know what we're gonna get. She hasn't jumped past like which her level again is 97 overall, but we haven't seen her hit 98. That it's
Hmm.
really as simple as that. Like
Hmm.
when I that's what I'm saying. Like as far as like on the WTA tour right now, we know there's a ton in the mix right now. There's a lot of women in the mix you could like make a shout for. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But when you think about who's really like at the top cream of the crop, like who you would expect to do well at this year's U.S. Open and hold the trophy at the end, I really think there's only three names between me and you. Like,
Who are
uh,
they besides
I,
Coco?
I mean, Sabalenka's been in terrible form. I know that, right?
Hmm.
She won last year, and I'm going purely off of like she can put it together. I believe in her to, if there was ever a time, she would do it there.
Yeah,
You
she's
know what I
made the
mean?
last three finals and won two of them. Yeah,
You know what I
for
mean?
sure. Yeah.
You don't just bet against her because she's had a bad run of form. She is a champion. She can figure it out. And then Iga. Like, I think that Iga getting back into form the way that she has. And again, I like championship pedigree. So maybe I wouldn't put her above Coco right now. I'd put Coco at the one spot.
Hmm.
But if you were going to put names like respectably close, I
Hmm.
think they're in there. As the Naomi Osaka fan in me,
Woo!
the deeply ingrained Naomi Osaka fan in me
Yes.
wants it so bad. Does Naomi want it? That's the question. Like, that's the question. But I
I feel
don't
like I've
put
said
her in the
those
same
exact
tier.
words on this podcast before, Jalen. Does Naomi
Yeah.
want it? And I think she
Does
does.
she want it? I want it
Yeah.
for her. Does she
Yeah.
want it? You
I,
know?
I think she wants it, but I don't know. I think there are people ahead of her that want it more.
Correct.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's what I'm saying. I'm like when
Yeah.
you throw like Anisimova, like,
Hmm.
like she's in there, she's up top, of who comes to mind. It's just not. I'm not gonna put her up there with like Coco and Arena Sabalenka who won it last year. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
I get what you mean. And then to throw some other names in there, we already mentioned a little bit about Rabakina's injury, but Rabakina was stopped by her injury and Iga.
Yeah.
Rabakina retired mid-match, I think down 1-4 in the first set against Iga, which was just a rematch of the Canadian final in Toronto.
Yeah.
But Rabakina said after she pulled up that it's been something in her lower ankle, maybe Achilles, that she has been dealing with for a while, but she's been managing. But she said one wrong move in that match, and she kind of knew it was a wrap. And she looked as such for a person that doesn't emote very much or often. That was she looked pretty like,
Hmm.
oh, this is not good. So her chances of playing New York are definitely questionable because I also think she pulled out of the mixed doubles as well as like a precaution. We'll
Yeah.
talk about why I put air quotes in the mixed doubles.
No, for sure, for sure. But and then like no disrespect to Rybakina as a former champion. I did mention earlier that Achilles injuries are very tough to come back from. So that's where I don't put her in the mix as I do an Iga who is getting back to form. You know what I mean? I see how it looks where I'm saying like, put these former championship pedigree type players in there. It's just that it's an Achilles injury. You have to be like, okay, what can you I've seen what happened to KD. Not knock on wood again, but like, you know what I'm saying? I've seen how this kind of, different sports and everything, but hey, it's got to be mentioned. Achilles tendon, Holger Rune as a tennis example, like you said earlier. I mean, yeah, that's a tough one to just hop in there and play 7 matches on. So that's the only reason I don't put it. If healthy, I think she's right there next to Coco, but
I also don't think the reason I love the U.S. Open is because there's also like this intangible of being able to deal with just the hum of being in New York City at that tournament, especially the deeper you get and the more show courts you get. I don't put her at the top of my list of being able to deal with all of that well. If it's early rounds and she's just routining and doing her serve by queen thing, sure. But when the crowd gets involved, I think Rybakina can get a little rattled, even though she's pretty flat. Inside, I think it gets a little heavy. It
gets loud.
It gets loud for her inside. But we'll see if she, watch this space to see if Rybakina withdraws. I don't know. I should check my phone right now to see if there's some.
No, real. The way it's been lately, I mean, keep it on.
It's been people pulling out. Before we get into some major withdrawal news for this U.S. Open, there's one last woman's name I wanted to talk about. Actually, we can combine this for women and men because I want to talk about the women and men that made the semis at Cincinnati. Because last time I potted, we talked about the quarterfinals, and the semi-finalists deserve a shout because out of Sarah Balick, Brandon Nakashima, Flavio Caboli, and Iga Swiatek, I think we should start with Sarah Balick, who defeated Aryna Sabalenka in the best win of her career, followed that up with the quarterfinal win against Madison Keys, who is a former Cincinnati champion. And honestly, I know Sarah Balick won a WTA 500 in Abu Dhabi, like maybe the very week after Australian Open. But outside of that little factoid, did not know much about her. And now I know that she looks like old girl from Orange is the New Black. Whose name, unfortunately, I can't remember. But I did say it on the last episode. So go back and rewind if you're like, what is Myles talking about? She looks like her, and she has great game. I've listened to some outlets describe like the 3 relative diminutive lefties on the WTA tour, which are Alex Ayala, Leylah Fernandez, and now Sarah Balick. She doesn't really play like them. I feel like Ayala and Fernandez are constantly making up for the fact that they're a little diminutive. Balick doesn't mind being like, okay, I'm short, and power and pace is not necessarily my pedigree, but you're going to have to outwork me on this court. And it was nice to see her do that for a week and some change in Cincinnati and get all of those wins in a row. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's refreshing. I'm looking at that build of player make you have to extend down to her level. That's really, she's putting up a step stool and getting in your face is how I'm looking at her game style. She's making you hit a different shot at a different angle every different time. And while you practice all these shots, you go through and you work on all these shots. Do you work on them in a row like that? No, that's hard to counter. You know what I mean? And I feel like for Sabalenka, especially the win over Sabalenka, I think it shows the most.
That was a huge win for her. And yeah, I mean, I don't know where her ranking goes, but I'm assuming she's like top 25 now. Let's do some live. While I do some live research, this is absolutely your time of the floor to talk about what are the other semifinalists. Iga Swiatek. I'll be quiet while you talk about what makes Cincinnati good for her.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm glad I came prepared for thoughts with this one because I'll start with Nakashima. I said so many times after watching Brandon Nakashima, who is he feeling like? Who is he feeling like? Who is he feeling like?
Oh wait, I
Then,
thought this was the Iga Swiatek section. This is the Brandon Nakashima section.
oh no, sorry, yeah, I was about to go through all three of them real quick, but
Give us Iga because I want Iga to be
on
the.
Iga, okay.
I'm being shady. Go Iga first. Give us like 2 seconds, and then we can talk about Brandon Nakashima.
No, let
And I can
me
join you.
go on Iga.
I can join you on Nakashima.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So Iga, we already know she hadn't had the best season, especially when you're comparing how great you have been to how great you are not looking right now. It's tough with Iga. So it is very, very good to see her rolling back into this tournament and looking like herself. Um, she had even Pagula on the track meet before she ended up inevitably losing. But that's such a good sign to see because it looked like she was able to make those little adjustments to her game. At times during her match against Pagula, she was complaining to her team about how close or how far away she was to the ball at times. And that kind of throws off her rhythm of, again, just trying to make you run to this angle, to that angle, to this angle at the baseline and scramble all around. So it's just good to see her be able to make those on the fly adjustments and make those little fine tuned detail changes to get to what earlier in the year, that match, I think it would have been straight sets in Pagula's manner, just from the way that Iga, just the way Iga had been playing. But this match, I feel like that's a step, and I really hope she sees it that way going into the U.S. Open. As an Iga fan, like I was very happy to see her run in Cincinnati as a whole,
Mhm.
and especially even though it was a loss, the Pagula match, her getting some like she has a lot to smile about after that one, in my opinion, and it was a great match all around anyway. So yeah.
Before I tap out of the Iga Swiatek section, I don't know if I've ever made it clear or used this analogy that came to me not that long ago, but I totally see Iga as a great athlete and an amazing tennis player. However, she reminds me of one of like the very smart girls in school who were stingy about sharing their notes to prepare you for like the test. She gives me that vibe. Like, we know you're going to pass the test. Help some of us. Like, that's not saying that she should help any of her competitors, but there's just a vibe I don't really.
Yeah, you don't resonate with.
There's a vibe I don't resonate with, and everybody's entitled to that. Like, just how people are not, fans. Atlanta Falcons fans are not fans of New Orleans Saints, and Lakers fans are not fans of Celtics. I can be a tennis fan and not be a huge fan of Iga Swiatek, and also have a podcast about tennis. It's completely fine. Don't shoot me. But yeah, that's why great tennis player though.
Yeah. And this is like, if this is a great opportunity, I feel like, for your fans to get to know me a little bit better, because like that's where I start. Tennis is fun for me because I can put players into different categories. We're talking about individuals here at the end of the day, right? So like, whereas like, I don't like Iga for the same reasons I like Naomi, just because like Naomi's like flair on court, her edge of just like she's coming out in this like beautiful garment and like the swag is crazy, you know what I mean? And she comes with her own flair. She does these little things in between points. I like Iga because I like the way that she's hitting like a topspin forehand that's not the standard in women's tennis, you know what I mean? She's
Completely feel you.
making her opponent like running around the court, you know what I mean? And I think that like that perspective of like, okay, I would not support Iga for her personality. That's not what I'm gonna do. As the same way, like Naomi is too frustrating of a player for me to just sit there and be like, oh, she's not like able to hit all of her shots perfectly. She'll check out of this match. She will leave this match before the score is done. So
certain players you watch with their personality like intertwined in, and some of them you don't even acknowledge their personality because the tennis is that good. I get it. Everybody falls in different parts of that spectrum as to why they like or dislike a player, which completely is fine. I just get heat on socials and beyond about like, why don't you like Iga or why don't you like Rebecca? Because I don't have to. Like,
no, exactly. No, that's the other thing. No, I don't have to like. No, I don't have to like these people at all.
Well,
Yeah, because
let's
again,
move
they're
on.
just people.
Yeah,
But anyway.
they're tennis players. They bleed just like I do. Hey guys, if you're enjoying today's episode, please take a look at the episode description, support the growth of the show by grabbing a coffee from the link, and while you're at it, be sure to engage with Tuned Into Tennis on social networks. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook is where you can find us. Leave a review if you like what you're listening to so far, and let's get back to the show. Okay, Brandon Nakashima, I'm with you on that because he's been on a heater.
Yes.
Semifinals of Washington, finals of Montreal, another semi in Cincinnati. Best tennis of his life. Oh, and sidebar, I looked up where Sarah Bailick's ranking is now. She's 29 in the world. And I would imagine that Brandon Nakashima is thereabouts as well, given the last 3 tournaments he's played has been the best of his career. So
yeah, he's been picking up points.
What are you feeling about Mr. B-Nack?
I like B-Nack. I was really impressed with him coming out against Taylor Fritz. Taylor Fritz had an obvious agenda. It like Taylor Fritz had a plan in that match, and he was like going to execute it. And then somehow Brandon Nakashima won the first set, and it's like, how did he do that? Because usually when you go so hard on like game planning for your opponent, and it's Brandon Nakashima, it's not like, Fed or anything like that, like where you can just like break down the game and then end up like flipping the script on your opponent. You don't expect that from Brandon Nakashima. You know what I mean? So he comes out and wins that first set against Taylor, and I was like, wow, this guy is serious. Because up until that point, I genuinely been like, who is he feeling like? whose spirit has Brandon Nakashima like embodied? But no, I feel like that's him. I'm not gonna overhype it and say I expect him to win the US Open or anything like that. But if he can carry that spirit and that energy into the rest of his season, he's going to be very successful. He's got the game set up for it. Hit your first serve in, hit it well, and don't let them attack your backhand relentlessly. Like, don't let them do that to you.
You'd be a fool to continuously attack Brandon Nakashima's backhand because it's the rock of his ground game. Like that backhand is money, and that serve is getting a lot of its just due. Because I feel like it was a sneaky secret for a while that Nakashima had a very solid serve. But man, I just watched a video that Tennis TV put together of how many aces he hit in the match, and it was like some ASMR rock you to sleep in the best kind of way type of thing.
Yes.
He was hitting his spots every single time. It was like, if I was playing a video game, I want this Brandon Nakashima serve in my back pocket. Like,
for sure.
He's gonna walk up to superpower. It's a superpower. He's going to walk up to the court, and the energy isn't really like, the energy isn't saying, "Hey, I'm going to serve you off the court," but that's sometimes what happens. The forehand can get shaky. He can kind of approach on some fluffy stuff sometimes to the net.
Yeah, he can.
He can do that, and he can get himself in precarious situations because he was 3 match points down against Daniil Medvedev earlier in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But he found himself in the semis. And I feel like for a guy with Brandon Nakashima's talent level who yet doesn't have a Grand Slam quarterfinal, I do not believe, this is where he probably starts putting himself in Grand Slam quarterfinal contention. Because his best results are the 4th round of the U.S. Open back in 2024. And 2 years before that, he made the Wimbledon 4th round and lost a tight one to Nick Kyrgios. So by seeding, he's probably going to be, he's ranked 17 right now. So that's 1 spot below being, expected to be in the round of 16 at a major. However, there have been pullouts, and there might be some more. So he's probably going to be a top 16 seed, which puts him right there on the cusp of being in the 4th round or a quarterfinal, depending on how the draw shakes out and how he ultimately does. So I'm going to be watching Brandon Nakashima, especially Nakashima that, when he wins matches, he's given the double guns. I didn't know he did that. I didn't know he was
not in his personality, not in his little, like, that's not what I would have expected personally. Right. But yeah, there's been 2 different like commentating moments in like watching Brandon Nakashima over the last couple weeks that I really want to highlight because they're kind of like opposing but they're the same guy. Jim Courier was talking about how I would not want to play poker against him because he's just. But then on the other side of things, I've heard that he's like a great personality and he's hilarious behind the scenes. So
I believe
it's just like, I love the
that
duality of that.
that duality is another rung and like another layer of wild of tennis, because the person that you are outside of the lines of a tennis court is not necessarily what shows up in those lines. Like
Correct.
you can be very different in the kind of all alone out there can bring out some very interesting things in somebody's personality in a good way or sometimes a bad way, but it happens nonetheless. And I appreciate that about tennis for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
We didn't. I know I mentioned like the other semifinalists. A word for Flavio Caboli. I spoke a lot about him in my last episode, so you can go back there and catch that. I think I just released a YouTube clip of that full length episode where I talk about him and Tyreek Weathers being in the same building together, and if those are not the same people, because they do look, especially
LOL.
especially Flavio Caboli with the buzz cut. He is giving Tyreek Weathers a run for his money. And he gave everybody else a run for their money by making the semifinals here. So good for
Yeah.
Flavio.
Yeah. Flavio, what is he, fourth or fifth in the race to Turin right now?
He's ranked officially 6th in ATP singles. In the race, he is the race to Turin. He is 4. Yeah, as far
Yeah.
as
I
points
mean,
accumulated this year.
what a season. What a
Mhm.
season so far. And I mean, for as like not quiet as it is, you're the other guy facing Zverev like in the in the Roland Garros final. Like it's not quiet per se, but is he getting the love of like, okay, he's in the 4th spot right now. This guy's probably gonna finish.
I think it's because Caboli still can put in a clunker.
Oh yeah,
Like
big
that
time.
that
Yeah.
quarterfinal against Arthur Ferry at Wimbledon,
Yeah.
Clunkerville, Clunker City. Like he can still
Yeah.
do that. So it makes us a little bit. It's like, yeah, we know he's like the 5th or 6th ranked player right now, but is it because Alcaraz has been out and Sinner, lost early at the French and is now withdrawn from the U.S. Open? Like there are some factors that make it not just Caboli's on a heater and he's the guy to beat. It's not like dull, but it's not as flaming hot as the ranking number might seem.
No, for sure, definitely. And I understand that, like in the sense of like that's where I'm saying like it's an underrated, it's like a quiet little sneak to the 4th spot right there.
Mhm.
Definitely I know why. He just is. Yeah, he just, if he doesn't find his forehand sometimes, it really is just like such a snore to watch. Like,
Really?
yeah, if he's like, he loves to kind of switch the inside out, inside in forehand. If he
Mhm.
can't find that, that's where the clunkers start coming in because it's just like, oh my God, this guy's in the top 20. But
Or he gets
sometimes he'll find
diarrhea.
it like randomly, and get on. But man, if he doesn't find it, it gets rough sometimes.
Well, I wouldn't mind him finding it in New York because I think the crowd and his personalities would be a nice
They
little
would go hand
gel,
to hand.
hand
Yeah.
in hand. Let's go from one Italian to another, and the other Italian is world number 1 Yannick Sinner, who announced on August 21st that with a right knee injury, he will be missing the U.S. Open, which is his first Grand Slam he's missed since he started playing them in 2019. He
Mhm.
hasn't played since winning Wimbledon back in July after already skipping Montreal and Cincinnati. And with center out, Alexander Zverev is likely going to be, and I think is the number 1 seed. And then Alcaraz slots in at number 2, who officially said he is playing after so many months off with the wrist injury. So when you saw Yannick Sinner hit the social media airwaves with his announcement of not playing the U.S. Open, what were you thinking?
Pretty much like, fall to your knees, despair, doom and gloom. No, pretty much all of the above. I mean, no, and we got blessed last year, you know what I mean, with all of these Synchronized finals. And I can't lie, I long for those back, after seeing what I've seen this year sometimes. So yeah, I mean, I was sad. And, I spent most of this summer thinking, okay, it's gonna like Alcaraz might not make it to the U.S. Open. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We might not see him until maybe Australia. I was like, okay, and then it ended up being Sinner withdrawing. So that knee issue. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I thought he wanted to spend his birthday in Monte Carlo. He was just not gonna be, you guys, sorry, I couldn't make it. You know
Sorry,
what
I
I
can't go to
mean?
Cincinnati, guys. Or sorry,
Sorry,
I'm so
my
sorry.
bad. But no, it is serious. I was like, oh man, yeah, no, it really, I'm not gonna lie. I felt like my heart like break in half and like fall. I was like, I was sad.
I
I was sad.
I get that because I have had a interesting relationship with Yannick Sinner over the past couple of years. Because if you want to go back and find how I feel about Sinner, like pre Clostebol in the massage, it was relatively positive. And I totally saw like where he and Alcaraz are going to be the face of the game and have turned into the face of the game. The Clostebol era made me, kind of side eye how many massages he's getting and what this whole like 3-month ban was. And then I've been able to kind of, put that in a bow or in a package, put it to the side and kind of just watch the tennis for what it is.
There better
Amazing.
not be anything else.
Yeah, if something else pops up, we're gonna know that everything is shiesty.
Because why did you bring that guy back in your camp? Why did you do that? I don't. There better not be anything else.
He's getting a large scoop of the benefit of the doubt because of how he, his aura and how he presents himself as a young man. I'm willing to give him that, but there can't be any more rumblings of performance enhancing drugs, or else I'm going to think these last whole couple years you just been shooting up with it or whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, hey man, like you said, the largest scoop of the benefit of the doubt that I
He
may have
deserves
ever
it for
seen.
now, I think.
There better not be anything else. There better not be anything else.
But in terms of this, though, if you asking me 2 weeks ago, and I think I said it, who I think is going to play the U.S. Open, I would have been like, Alcaraz shouldn't play it, because why would you jump into a best-of-5 format after not playing for 4 months? Like, why would you do that? Yeah, you're a defending champion, but Alcaraz isn't even 24. Like, you could be doing U.S. Open for the next 10 years relatively easily if you are healthy. So missing one is not really going to make a big difference. But with Sinner, I don't think of him as the withdrawal guy for the most part, outside of the whole Clostebol thing. So for him to pull out of the U.S. Open after not seeming like he's had a very strenuous last couple of months, because remember, he left early. The eyes you're making. He lost early at the French, won Wimbledon, and I think he only dropped a total of 3 sets at Wimbledon to win it. He did have that very nasty fall, so maybe this knee injury is from that nasty fall in the first round. And sometimes, I don't know. I just think I'm the scoop of if we're at the Baskin Robbins table of benefit of the doubt, I'm still going to give him the benefit of the doubt that this must be serious enough for him to withdraw from the U.S. Open as a whole, knowing good and well that he would go into it with the Alcaraz, who we basically know is an unknown quantity, and the rest of the field basically knowing that it's an uphill battle against him on a hard court when they go out there. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine whatever injury he has got to be taken seriously. It can't just be like a little fluid on the knee or something. Whatever he did, he probably doesn't want a chance or play best of 5 on it, or there's a massage we don't know about. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. There better not be anything else, because hey man, this is not like, again, bro, this is not a team sport. This is not baseball. This is not like, cut that out. Like, what are you doing?
And he's good. He's good. Very good.
Yeah, I hope it's the knee. I really hope it's the knee. And I don't mean to turn into conspiracy theorist hour with Jalen and Myles. You know what I mean? But like, come on now. Like, you can't ignore it fully. I will give him the benefit of the doubt. I hate that he's not playing. I'll put it that way. But the back of my mind, this is the back of my mind, the little scratchy itch. There better not be anything else. Anyway, I'm ready to move from that.
I'm not pissed that he's not playing, because I think it gives a world of opportunity to the other people we've mentioned, like a Arthur Fils, a Francis, a Kaboli, a Nakashima, to go as deep as they can at the U.S. Open. Wait, why you have your hand up?
That's another point that I really want to get at right there, mm-hmm. right? Because we watched Sinner and Alcaraz like we watched them just like they watched them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's like extraordinary what they're doing. They're talented. They're adapting pretty much on the fly. It seems like I'm tired of like Sinner and Alcaraz kind of having to make way for somebody to do, like, oh, well, Sinner and Alcaraz are just so good. Like, we just got to like leave one of them out. These are like top, like 0.0000001. I need them to go take it. You know what I mean?
I think you bring a good point, but I look at it as there's more room for the scholars to really let their stuff shine if the valedictorians are not always in the room. Because a valedictorian, like Alcaraz and Sinner, who are so much further above the class, are going to make everybody else feel like peasants, when in actuality, a 3.5 and 3.6 GPA or whatever is like you're very smart, you're
It's
very
solid,
capable,
right?
you're very good, right?
Like,
And
it's
I think
good.
it's good. Yeah, you're not going to get the pomp and circumstance of being the valedictorian on graduation day, but it's not. No one would ever say that you were a dumbass. Like
No, no,
you were
exactly.
solid. You were solid. I like the idea of the U.S. Open being full of guys with 3.5 GPAs who are very capable and are all battling amongst each other to get to that top spot. I enjoy that. And people might call it and spin it into like, oh, this is chaos and the other two guys, we need them. I don't necessarily agree with that. Would it be nice if Alcaraz and Sinner, Alcaraz is playing, but would it be nice if both of them were completely healthy, no other things going on, and the rest of the guys could compete and maybe beat them? Sure, that'd be great. But in the meantime, this is what we got. So let the guys that average A minus or a B plus fight it out and see who's going to be the best after 2 weeks and the dust settles in New York. And if that's not Alcaraz or Sinner, and maybe possibly, hopefully not Zverev, who else is it going to be? It's going to be somebody that has never lifted a trophy that size, and they have the spotlight on them. I think that's dope from a sporting perspective and narrative of the sport, personally.
Yeah. Yeah, just due to the circumstances of like, obviously Center's not playing. Like, I am very excited for who does step up
Mm-hmm.
out of the other side of the draw. Well, I mean, it's Zverev's half and Alcaraz's half, but
Mm-hmm.
who else steps up from the Zverev side of the draw? Because I just don't believe in him. Like, I don't know if is anybody out there that's just really like, there is
There
like
is. No, there is.
going for Zverev. There is.
We exist.
I'm not gonna like leave them out, but at the same time, like I personally don't trust him. Like as far as we're talking only tennis, like I know on my page I tend to be like kind of divisive when it comes to him at times,
Mm-hmm.
but purely talking tennis, like I don't trust him fully, and especially with him coming in with the spotlight of being the number one seed, that sounds like
A recipe for
a recipe for
disaster.
disaster. That's a, that sounds like a recipe for disaster. That does not sound good to
Yeah.
me. I don't
And
I
he
don't
hasn't
like how
been
that
playing well
sounds.
either. A loss to Tommy Paul in Cincy, a loss to Greek Spore in Canada. Like,
Yeah, I'm not excited for what I'm about to see out of the number one seed here.
nor should we.
Yeah, but no, I'm very excited about who decides to step up off that side of the draw.
Do you
It's not
know
a
who's
foregone conclusion that Alcaraz will be in the final. He's coming off all
yeah.
this stuff, but
Who
I'm
else?
excited to see who steps up.
Who else? You know who unfortunately won't get a chance to step up? Mr. Stan Wawrinka. Because the U.S. Open has decided once again in consecutive years to not offer him a wild card, even with the caveat that we know for sure this is his very last season on the ATP Tour. There was one to be determined wild card slot left on the men's side for the U.S. Open, and that went to number something ranked Patrick Gibson. I'm sure the Patrick Gibson stands out there would push back and say that he is more deserving. I'm sure he is and deserves his opportunity. But Stan Wawrinka has actually won the U.S. Open, granted 10 years ago, but he has stood there with the trophy as a champion, and we know full well that he will not be playing another season. It doesn't seem like he's going to go back on it. He's already in his 40s. And for him not to get that open wild card slot, after we know and has been confirmed by Ben Rothenberg that he and his team actually applied for it, it wasn't like there was some lost stuff in the wind. He actually applied for it, and they were like, "Nah." That leads me to believe that there's something we don't know about with
There's something behind the scenes with that.
yeah.
Like Who makes that? Is that the tournament director's
It's
decision?
basically USTA and tournament director for the US Open, basically. Yeah.
Did Stan Wawrinka like spit at Craig Tiley or something like that? Like I don't really understand. Like I don't understand, but I think it's just incredibly disrespectful, to be honest with you. Like, I don't, until I see it, I feel like I'll be scrolling Instagram reels in like 2 months or something like that. And they'll be, oh, the tournament director of the USTA says he hates Stan Wawrinka and he never liked him. Something is going to come up crazy about that. It has that like brewing like
Yeah.
element to it because that it just doesn't make sense. Like, to be honest, what do you lose by giving Stan Wawrinka a wild card? Even if he does lose first round, it's Stan Wawrinka. Like he won your tournament.
Especially if you're giving a wild card out to Gael Monfils, who is also playing his last U.S. Open.
I'm saying.
Has never made it past the semis, only got to one semi, and had to rely on the whole reciprocal French Tennis Federation and U.S. Tennis Association reciprocal wildcard thing to even get in the tournament. If you're handing them out to Gael Monfils and not to Stan Wawrinka, who's actually won your tournament, question marks are bound to pop up.
That's hater. That's so hater. Why would you do that? Why? Like, he won the tournament.
And two other Grand Slams, too, on top of that.
Against, like, the greatest superpowers tennis has ever seen. I mean, bro, that somebody's hating so crazy.
Yeah. And I had the chance to speak to him last year in New York when he was dropping a watch for a luxury brand. And it didn't seem to bother him too much that he was in New York without the actual wild card of playing main draw. But I would imagine the feeling may be different this year around because effectively he doesn't have a Grand Slam left to play anymore. Like this is it. His Grand Slam.
That's how his Grand Slam career. That's how we like. Is that how we thank our legends? Like I don't know.
And it's not like Stan Wawrinka is just like a little bitty legend. Like when you tell the story of the big three, yeah, you may be able to tell it without Stan Wawrinka. But if you really want to tell the whole story, all three of those guys would say he stood in their way on multiple occasions and was a tough out in the best of five format when everybody was watching and the chips were highest. Stan Wawrinka pulled up and he made himself a tough out throughout multiple parts of his career, you know?
Yeah, bro. I mean, we're talking about Juan Martín del Potro like he's Derrick Rose. Like, are you serious? Like, yeah, we gotta tell the story of Stan Wawrinka, Andy Murray, Marin Cilic, all of those guys, Juan Martín del Potro, Dominic Thiem, all of those guys, they have to be told in the story because what do you mean you get three guys in the room and you got 60 Grand Slams plus? That, you know what I mean? Like the rest of the which ones did they not get?
Yeah. Which ones did they not? Yeah. They literally didn't win them all. So who won the other ones? Stan was there 3 times, and I think he deserves a lot more respect than the U.S. Open and USTA was giving him. So shout out to Stan. There's still opportunities for him to get great send-offs. He's been getting great send-offs all year. There's like the Basel 500 indoor and maybe some other opportunities for him to get like a final send-off, but it sucks that the U.S. Open didn't even put themselves in that equation. So that's a bummer. In more positive news, and we're wrapping up the show in just a bit, guys. In more positive news, Serena Williams is going to be hitting the court again, but this time she'll have Carlos Alcaraz on the same side of the court with her. Carlos Alcaraz confirmed he's playing the U.S. Open after missing 4 months, and Serena Williams will not play singles, but she is returning to Flushing Meadows to play mixed doubles with Carlos Alcaraz. And I said earlier that people were withdrawing from mixed doubles with air quotes. This is not like the very traditional mixed doubles that was in place for years. Not. Last year, the U.S. Open did some very extreme and aggressive tinkering with trying to get more very prominent singles players on the court. And you can't get more prominent than Serena Williams. And right now, you can't really get more prominent than Carlos Alcaraz. So I guess from their perspective, mission accomplished. And honestly, I'm not mad at this pairing. I am just going to be interested in how the vibes are from like them interacting with each other, Carlos and Serena, and then the pair of them interacting with the rest of the world, because they both take up so much space with their aura. And can the tennis court hold it?
No, exactly. That's the first thing I thought as well, because that is a lot of personality for a doubles team right there. It's a lot of charisma. It is a lot of aura. Like, I'm very excited to see whatever they come up with. I mean, that's where when I was like talking about it and I was presenting it, it was just like, I think I'm starting to understand the tennis marketing thing. Like the rest of marketing, just get the two biggest people you can think of. You know, we're watching like unscripted like wrestling matches here. Like, yeah, just get the two biggest people, put them together. Like, duh.
Like
You know,
you just can't get more aura than Serena. Obviously, in her prime, and right now, she's just going to be Serena Williams every day of the week. And Carlos Alcaraz, he has that very interesting factor going on right now in this era of his life because we miss him. So he's like
yes,
the most popular he probably ever has been because he actually hasn't been playing. So it's like,
yeah.
come back to the court,
With that, he has the opportunity to do like the most hilarious thing.
which is what?
Play mixed doubles and then
Win it?
like like win it and then like maybe play singles and lose third round, lose first round, lose somewhere
Yeah,
in the
the
first
Baltic
three
Van de
matches.
loop or something.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, auto cannon, yeah, for sure. So
We'll see.
yeah,
I don't think I think this is. I've seen some people online say, "What are you doing? Adding more tennis to a risk that we don't even know how it's going to come back and play competitively." I think he needs some shit and giggles tennis before he goes to a best of five format because he hasn't played competitively. Like, yeah, he's been able to hit balls and train, but he hasn't been in a match format since April. I don't
yeah,
think it's a bad idea to jump back into a light match format with mixed doubles with Serena because, like, it counts, but it also doesn't. Like if they go on
yeah,
and win it, we're never going to forget that Carlos Alcaraz won a mixed doubles title with Serena Williams and vice versa. But if they
yeah.
lose, we're probably going to have some really cool social media sound bites and pictures and stuff. So
Yeah, for
it's a
sure. I hope
win-win.
they're mic'd up for that one somehow. Like I hope
I don't
that
think they will be because they're
no, they
still
won't. It's an
yeah.
official mixed
It's
doubles
an
match,
official
but
match. Yeah,
it would be sick for them to be mic'd up for that. Like that's how if that tells you how I'm treating,
mixed doubles,
not mixed doubles. No, the
but
way
U.S.
that
Open mixed doubles.
the way the U.S. Open has presented mixed doubles to me. I hope they should mic them up. They should like, come on, bro. Like if we gonna make it a if we gonna make it a spectacle, let's do it. But you can't. I know why you can't do that. Like you
Mm-hmm.
can't because you have like Sarah Irani and
You have
Andrea
mixed double
Vavasoria there. You
specialists.
got
Yeah.
exactly. So you can't just do that. But like with Serena and Carlos Alcaraz, okay,
I get
all
why
right,
some of the double specialists are looking at this US Open mixed with side eyes because it's like this isn't when like yeah, I think Serena does have one or two mixed doubles titles in the old fashioned format, but this isn't what they train for specifically double specialists and take very seriously. It feels like you're taking an opportunity away from them instead of actually highlighting doubles. So I get why they're a little, antsy about it. But however, I am fully expecting the internet to quiver when we see Serena and Carlos on the same side of the net.
for sure, for sure. I mean, they're like the winner gets $1 million per team, or like for the team.
Really?
Yeah.
Serena, if you just need a water boy, will take like a percentage of that, Serena.
I'm saying like no, the winner of this mixed doubles tournament gets $1 million, and you're gonna tell me that like you're gonna pretty much eradicate the mixed doubles field, put in all of the singles players a week before, move it to a week before and make it a spectacle. If I'm a mixed doubles player, I'm in a very small voice, that they can't hear up there. I would be screaming like
Yeah.
just so mad because what do you mean $500,000 each for the winner? You know what I mean? That's
When I don't even think the winners in past years split 500K. They didn't. Like when Taylor Townsend and Donald Young got to the final, I think in 2024, the winners of that tournament didn't get 500K apiece. They didn't even get
no,
500K together, I don't think.
no, no. And I mean, like, that's where it's like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing here. And I mean, like, because it would be different if they're like, okay, we're going to drive singles traffic to this mixed doubles tournament. So that way, we can boost it up for all the mixed doubles players in the future and build a brand around it. They're not doing that.
They're doing what they want. Isn't that part of a song? Doing what I want. It's that what's her name from Baddies? I'm not a baddies connoisseur. What's her name? Natalie Nunn? Doesn't she have a song like "Doing"?
Oh,
What
I know who Natalie Nunn is. Okay,
bingo. She has a song "Doing What I Want," and that's what the U.S. Open is doing with this.
Okay,
with this. But yeah, go Carlos and Serena. I'm obviously, and most people that enjoy tennis are going to be watching.
I'm gonna watch.
We're going to be watching. Yeah, like it's going to be something you have to watch. So, looking forward to that. Let's see. Looking forward to some more U.S. Open things. I said we wanted to hit on the qualifying. I don't even think I took a great look at the U.S. Open qualifying list. Did you? I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that Moise Kwame and Nishesh Bazidavreddy are playing first round, which kind of is a bummer because I support both of them. But they're playing first round of men's singles qualifying. If you have notes, feel free to shoot them out while I pull up some draws.
Yeah. Just like the little interesting matchup, the main one that I saw that caught my eye was Jordan Lee and Mark Lajal. Mark Lajal is the one with the stupid hair.
He's Estonian and has blonde dreads or blonde locks. No.
Yeah. And Jordan Lee is the boys singles champion at Wimbledon.
Yep, remember him too. Yeah.
And then he comes back and then makes the final at Kalamazoo, which is like the world's biggest junior tennis tournament. Like all of your favorite American tennis players went through Kalamazoo, and he was in the final of that as well. He had to retire, unfortunately, but he ended up winning his first round. All of that to say, he ended up winning his first round against Mark Lajal. He's in the second round of the.
Because play has started today on Monday.
It started today. Yeah, it started today.
Yeah. And he plays Jordan Lee, the Wimbledon boys champion, plays Daniel Rincon next in the second round of men's qualifying.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I would love to see him get a main draw spot out of that. That'd be awesome. But yeah, that's my kind of note.
Okay. I'm just doing some quick scrolling. I did mention Moise Kwame and Nishesh Bazidavreddy. I don't know where they play, if they even play today as we record this, but they do play first round. And there's the number one seed for U.S. Open qualies is Arthur Gia, who won the ATP 250 in Los Cabos, like at the very beginning of this U.S. Open hard court swing. So he's coming in with some form.
Isn't like Kei Nishikori in this draw somewhere?
Kei Nishikori did get a wild card into the qualifying because this is his last U.S. Open as well.
Okay. They couldn't even do that for Stan?
Yeah, give him I was going to say, did Kei Nishikori deserve a wild card in the main draw singles? Debatable. Yes. But yeah, they couldn't even give Stan Wawrinka a wild card into the qualifying.
Oh, and did you say in the main draw for Kei?
Yeah, I don't know if he would get a main draw for Yeah.
Maybe if he won that final.
Maybe.
If he won that final. He and I mean, no disrespect to the legend, you know what I mean? But yeah, Kei Nishikori, qualifying wild card makes sense for him. But they couldn't even do that for Stan? That's crazy.
Tough.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking at some of these names. Oh, Grigor Dimitrov is in U.S. Open men's singles qualifying. He opens up against somebody I've never heard of, Lorenzo Giustino of Italy. Man,
Lorenzo Giustino. Yeah.
Are you being sarcastic?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, ain't no way you know who that is. That man is 34, and I have never heard or seen him.
Oh yeah, you didn't know that time he played, in Basel, first round. Yeah, no, I don't know who that is.
So I mean, I guess that's a good thing for Dimitrov, but Dimitrov is also taking L's.
I was just about to ask, I don't know if you have a convenient to look this up, but where is Dimitrov ranked right now? Because, I mean, must have fell off. His ranking.
He's outside the top 100, obviously, to be.
Yeah, like his ranking.
He's 137 as of today. Yeah.
137
in the world.
It's crazy how a year changes that, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, it can definitely throw you off. I'm looking at some other names that we might know. Oh.
Is the Norwegian guy in there, Budlov Kjær?
Oh my God, we're here. Nikolai Budkov Kjær. Yes, he is in there.
Yeah. I like his game.
Me too. He could be like the next Casper Ruud or something.
Which, by the way, Casper, how I was talking about like favorite players, like technically and then like personality. He kind of fits in it. He has like a sweet spot for me. I really like Casper Ruud. it didn't go his way. I don't think his career went his way. He made some Grand Slam finals. I think he should be a Grand Slam champion out of that 90s. Out of
Really?
that. Yes, he ran into Nadal.
I think Casper Ruud overachieved. 3 Grand Slam
What?
finals and a Masters 1000. I'm not saying he should be like trash, but I'm putting Casper Ruud in the overachieving bucket more than I am
Oh
just
man.
like because
No, he's got a soft spot in my heart. I love Casper Ruud's game. I
you
really
must
do.
like the guys that go to Clay 250s and pick them up. It's okay.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Right.
No, that's so crazy.
That is completely fair.
Yeah, I do. I respect the grind. That's a grind.
Michael Moe is in the U.S. qualifying singles, grinding it out, as is Bernard Tomic.
Oh man,
picking out names.
Shout out Bernard Tomic too. He had some legendary tanking moments from this year. I didn't think I would
this year.
I didn't think I would get tanking moments from Bernard Tomic this year, but that's pretty sweet. That wasn't on my bingo card, but I appreciate it.
And I'm sure there's some. Oh yeah, number 2 seed in men's qualifying is Coleman Wong from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Like his game, like his personality, wishing he can get through to the main draw. So yeah, we haven't gone super in depth with every single name, but I'm sure there's going to be some names that kind of make it to second, maybe third round or beyond.
Yeah, I was about to say I'll see him in the main draw. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. On the women's side, I know one of the biggest dominating storylines is that the gold medalist from 2024 Paris Olympics on the women's singles side, Jing Chen-Wen, she is playing qualifying, and this is her first time playing qualifying of a slam in quite a while. She's dropped in the rankings outside the top 100, I believe.
She was injured for a little bit, and then
she had a big elbow injury. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, and she's just grinding her way back up. I think she'll find her way.
I hope, because I think women's tennis is so much better when she's, top 10 or at least competing for it.
She can get back in the top 30. I believe in her.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Some other names: Robin Montgomery, lefty, young lefty from America. She's in the qualifying.
Is she like 18, 19?
No, she's 21 exactly.
Oh, okay.
She'll be 22 in September. She's a 2004 baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Noah Akugwe, if you're keeping up with the black faces, she's a black German, 22 years old. She's in there. Whitney Osigwe, another black face. I literally am just scrolling here, guys. This is impromptu. I'm trying to look up some names. Oh, our girl. I don't know if you remember her. Lutova, who won the inaugural WTA 250, she's in the qualifying. I got to see where she falls. I forgot. Okay. Christina, I think it's Christina Lutova or Christina Lutova, one of those. Mm-hmm. Where's her name? Lutova, where are you? I know you're in here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, before I get to her name, Bianca Andreescu, former U.S. Open champion, is in the qualies, which, she's still trying to get it together and get some semblance of what showed in 2019 together. Tyra Katarina Grant is also in the qualifying.
English girl, yeah?
No, Tyra is the daughter of a overseas basketball player, and she was born in Italy, but she did play for the USA for quite a while. Like, she's cool with Osigwe and that generation. But she plays for Italy now because she was born. Is that
the young one I was thinking? I love the spitball here because I'm really trying to piece together what I do know about these players. But yeah, is that the young one I'm thinking of?
Did you confuse it with Robin Montgomery? Maybe? Yeah, they both regularly rock braids, so you may. But okay. Tyra's right-handed, Robin's left-handed. Okay. And Tyra plays for Italy now, but has American roots. Why can't I find Lutova's name? Liu.
Yeah, her name is spelled really cool. Lutova.
Oh no, I'm looking. It gave me Claire Liu, who's also in the qualifying. Oh, Christina Lutova. She's at the very bottom of the bracket. She is in qualifying as well, and could. I don't know that much about her besides that she won that WTA 250 out of nowhere in her very first WTA tournament. So she is trying to make another name for herself. And yeah, that's women's qualifying. I'm sure we'll be hearing more names that we didn't.
Again, we'll see him in the main draw. No big deal.
We'll see him.
Yeah, they're going to give us some Laura. Oh, my goodness, she made the third round. Yeah, I know. It's there.
And then, believe it or not, ladies and gents, there is WTA and ATP level tournaments still in this week of the U.S. Open competing. There's the ATP 250 in Winston-Salem. They're competing as we speak. The top seed at that tournament is Daniil Medvedev, who...
Man, he's been putting up some stinkers. He's been putting up some real...
Medvedev is close. I know he's 30. But something about his aura gives, I'm not doing it for too much longer.
I was thinking, like, man, I watched him play Martin Tringaletti. And
I think I saw your video about that where he had the flag shirt. Yeah, I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, terrible. But I was saying in that video that I think I'm checked out. I'm good on watching Daniil Medvedev. I think we both know, me and Daniil know what we're thinking here. It looks like it's time to
wrap it on up.
Maybe at least take a break, brother. Take a mental health break, brother. That's just not only for the girls.
I think he has 2 kids under 5. So yeah, go
take a break.
It'll be fun. Yeah. Take him to the zoo. We won't blame you.
You know what I mean? You don't have to do this, bro. Like, you don't have to do this.
Be great. You're already a Grand Slam champ, world number 1. We know.
We know who you are. Go take a break.
Some of those accolades Tsitsipas has. He's also in this. Tsitsipas does not have some of those accolades, but he is in the Winston-Salem draw, looking for wins. Arthur Ferry, the Wimbledon surprise semifinalist, is in the draw as well as the number 2 seed Luciano Darderi. So those are some names to look for in the next couple of days. And on the women's side, they are playing a WTA 500. The women's top seed is Ekaterina Alexandrova, who, for all intents and purposes, loves a pre-Grand Slam or post-Grand Slam WTA 500 event. If you go look at her career wins, it's a lot of those. She loves
play
those.
Her way into it. Yeah, I get it. Okay.
Or out of it.
Yeah, true.
Also, then the number 2 seed is Elisa Mertens, who's another version of a Steady Eddie on tour, followed by French Open finalists. Remember her? Maya Chwelinska.
Yes,
and,
I do.
Anastasia Potapova. Those 4 names round out the 4 seeds in the WTA 500 in Monterey. So, yeah.
Alicia Parks is also playing in that. And
I had a feeling you were going to say her.
Hey, man. What can
you have a soft spot?
Come on, man. Like, yeah.
Is it based off of aesthetic or is it based off of game?
I'm not going to tell. I'm not. It's not.
You're not answering this.
It's not based off game. I'll put it that way.
Okay, and you know what? That's completely fair because there are, that's spoken like a true ally. Because as for me in my household, there are some players who I watch and I'm like, yeah, this isn't great tennis, but I see you. I see
you. Hey, Suddy, I see you. I'm rooting for you.
We are wishing you the best.
Yeah, go get those 500 points and then make it to the U.S. Open. Yeah.
Listen. She's already main draw, so she, from
you know what I mean. Make it there safe.
We got to check to see what the flight is from Monterey to New York.
LOL, for real. But yeah, no. Shout out Alicia Parks, man.
Good old Alicia.
Yeah, but anyway.
All right. I think we should stop right there.
We should
wrap it up right here. Jalen, I got to thank you for pulling up. I know we said at the top it was a long time coming. I'm glad we got this underneath our belt. Thank you for joining Tuned Into Tennis. For those who are just engaging with you, let everybody know where they can find your thoughts and opinions on the internet.
Well, I'm Jalen Jackson and Jalen with an H on Instagram. You did ask. So Jalen with an H, I worked at...
what does the H stand for?
It's like Halan, because I got called that a lot. I worked at like Halan, like instead of Jalen, because I worked at a predominantly like Spanish club for a little bit, and then it's just the headspace I was in when I created the username. Like it doesn't have any like great significant meaning or anything like that. But yeah, Jalen with an H on Instagram, on TikTok. I'm just on there, chatting. Come chat with me. You know what I mean? Come watch tennis with me. Come enjoy it.
He's being humble, but Jalen knows his stuff. I don't know if you peep at the top, but Jalen is really into the weeds of this tennis stuff and pops his stuff in a very nice packaging on the internet. And funny enough, I have a nickname that my friends call me that actually does derive from Hispanic mispronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
When I would call Ubers, and it just happened to be a Hispanic driver, something about the Y in my name, which I didn't even realize. I don't even have an S on my name here on the stream. It just says
Uh-huh.
Myle. Can't even type today. Anyway, they would not say Miles. They would say Miles. And
Ooh, okay.
my friends caught on with that, and they literally call me Miles now. So shout out to my friends.
No, that's fire. That's a good one. That's a good one. My friends definitely ran with that one too. So that's why I think that also subconsciously is why that ended up being in there. But yeah, I didn't like just at Jalen was taken, and I didn't want I didn't want anything else, I guess. So
If you
I
were
would just
into
run with it.
basketball, you could be Jalen with the jump shot, but we got you in tennis, and we're happy about
Yeah. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Because then I
that.
would just be lying. But anyway.
All right, y'all. Thanks again, Jalen. If you are not tuned into tennis, make sure you follow Tuned Into Tennis just like that across all socials. We'll be there engaging from now until the end of the U.S. Open. Matter of fact, I just joined an exclusive club that Jalen is actually in, the 6K and Over Club on Instagram. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, I
So
like that.
if you enjoying the content, baby, let's make it 6K more. And
Hey,
keep.
congratulations on that, by the way. I didn't peep
Thank
that.
you.
Congratulations. Big,
Thank
big.
you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Instagram told me, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I've been putting out some content there, so it's worth it sometimes.
Yeah, 10K is on the way. I like it.
10K on the way. Hopefully by the end of the year. If y'all
That'd be awesome.
if y'all rocking with us, make sure you go to Jalen with an H on TikTok and Instagram, share his stuff, and then go over to Tuned Into Tennis while you're at it and share my stuff too. So with that being said, we will talk to you guys on the next one. Keep tuning into tennis and take care, guys. See you soon.